Hello everyone and welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm bringing to you another delicious and easy to make one-pan meal. I've combined my Spanakorizo, which is my spinach and rice pilaf, along with delicious chicken that's flavored with sumac and Mediterranean spices. We're going to put it together and create our one-pan spinach and rice with chicken. It's ready really in an hour mostly. So if you have all the ingredients, you can make it for dinner tonight. Let's go over those so that way we can start. We're going to begin with the chicken, and I love to use chicken thigh meat with the bone and the skin on. It's an inexpensive cut of meat, and it stays really nice and juicy throughout the cooking time. For the spices, I have some salt, some granulated garlic powder, cumin powder, and lots of sumac. We're also going to put some black pepper. I'm just going to combine these spices in a bowl and just mix them all up. You don't even have to do this. You can just sprinkle each one separately on top of the chicken. If you have a different spice combination that you like, go ahead and use that. I'm just going to do each side. So half for one side and half for the other. This is going to have so much flavor. A little bit of black pepper. You can use crushed red pepper flakes too if you like. And you can marinate the chicken the night before that you're going to make this, so that way the flavor can seep in. But there's so much flavor in this, you guys, that if you make this the day of, it'll still be delicious. So I'm going to do this in my cast iron skillet because it goes from stovetop to oven, and I don't have to use a different pan or anything like that. But if you're making a bigger batch, then you can go ahead and do this in a frying pan and then just transfer it to a baking dish. I'm going to heat this up until it's nice and hot over medium-high heat. And then I'm going to put the chicken on here. I'll do this in 2 batches, and I'm going to cook it about 3-4 minutes on each side until it's nice and brown. So the chicken will release easily once it's browned on each side. Take it out and put it on a tray or on a dish, whatever you have. Set it aside. It still needs to cook more. Now you're going to want to discard the oil and whatever else is in here. Just wipe this clean or rinse it, however you take care of your cast iron pan, before we move on to the next step. Now you just want to take an onion. You can use a red onion or a yellow onion. A medium-sized one like this is good. And we're just going to finely chop it. Now I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of olive oil to my cast iron skillet over here, and all of the onions. And we're going to cook these over medium heat until they're nice and soft. It's going to take about 8 to 10 minutes or so. Now it is very important that you guys go ahead and clean the pan after you're done browning the chicken, because those spices are going to end up burning and turning black. So you don't want to have little black bits throughout your rice. So just take the few minutes that it takes to clean that pan out. While the onions are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and grate 4 garlic cloves just to keep them ready. In my Spanakorizo recipe, my spinach rice pilaf, I slice these up instead of grating them. You can do that if you prefer. It's just that I want these to kind of melt into the rice this time, so you can choose either which way to do this. Once the onions are nice and soft, we're going to go ahead and stir in the garlic and just warm it through just a few minutes. Not a few minutes, a few seconds actually, so it doesn't burn. And that's all it takes. Once you smell it, it's ready. Now I'm just going to add the spinach in a few batches. You can go ahead and chop it up if you want, but I'm just going to skip that step. And I'm just going to cook these down until they wilt. And I'm going to continue to add the rest of this pound of baby spinach leaves. That sounds like a lot, but it's going to cook down a lot once it's done. So once the spinach is wilted, I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of dried dill. If you have fresh dill, go ahead and use some fresh dill. Chop up about 1/4 cup or so and add it in here. When you're using fresh, you need more. Dried is a little more concentrated. So this is ready. I'm also going to season with lots and lots of freshly ground black pepper. Perfect. Now I have some basmati rice, 1.5 cups of it, that I've washed really well. I just ran it under cold water and kept rinsing it out until the water ran clear. I'm going to go ahead and add this in here with some water. 1.5 cups of rice means 1.5 cups of water, so that way it can cook perfectly. I love using basmati rice because it's nice and light. And I'm also gonna go in and add some salt. I'm gonna mix this and let it come to a boil. It's already smelling so good, that dill with the spinach and all the flavors just smell so good. Now the rice did come to a boil, so I just turned the heat off. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of the chicken right on top, skin side up. And I'm also gonna not let all of these juices go to waste, just put them in there. So I'm gonna take it off the heat now. And I'm just gonna cover it first with parchment paper and then with aluminum foil. So the oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna bake this in the oven covered for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna remove the foil and the parchment paper. I'm gonna raise the temperature to 475 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna let it bake uncovered for another 15 or 20 minutes or until the chicken is fully cooked. The last 1 or 2 minutes, you can also turn on the broiler so that way the chicken can crisp up and just get really nice and golden and nice and crisp. I think I already said crisp. Can't wait to show you what it looks like when it's ready. And the dish is ready. So it comes together in about an hour, maybe a few minutes more. Like I said, you could run it under the broiler for about a minute or two. Keep a close eye on it because the skin can burn. Just keep it under there just until it gets really nice and crisp and a deep golden brown on top. Then take it out and bring it from oven to table and let everybody serve themselves. I like to serve this with some feta cheese and some lemon slices, lemon wedges. Squeeze some lemon juice on top. Sprinkle some feta cheese and you have a meal ready in no time. You could also put some sumac on the table and people can sprinkle some sumac on top of their chicken or even on top of the spinach rice. It goes together really well because it's nice and tangy. I'm gonna go in and give this a taste. Moist, juicy chicken, aromatic spinach rice. The feta and the lemon juice just add the perfect garnish to it. I think you guys are going to love this. Go ahead over to the website, www.dimitrasdishes.com, to print this recipe. The link is in the description box down below. Let me know what you guys think. Share pictures with me on social media, and I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.